So this is a podcast. This is the art of ROBLOX Wrestling. For those who don't know who I am, I'm that asshole that makes TDs now, and I'm joined by Kidz Jericho for some fucking reason.
Yeah, for some fucking reason I stumbled in this call. I guess I don't fucking know.
You didn't stumble into shit.
Actually,
you were added in over 2 hours ago.
Well, yeah, I was added 2 hours ago, but I was told it was a desperate situation. And fucking is like, hey, can I have your scripts? I'd be like, don't you have it already? No, I think I can recreate it. Alright, I'm leaving. Bye.
That's my bad thing about Ken and calls. They just add people and add people and add people and add people and add people.
I've talked to him before. It's just it's the randomest stuff. Like, I don't really have a huge problem with it. It's not really that big a deal. But I swear,
that's funny.
I feel bad for some of the people he adds sometimes. It's just like he add them on the spot and they get in, they have no fucking idea what's going on. It's like, oh, well now I just feel like an asshole. I just sitting there. It's happened half a dozen times. I just want to like, fucking sorry to Dewey. Goddamn. Dewey ends up on the receiving end of this like 9 times out of 10.
Dewey gets added to every single call. He got added in earlier and didn't join because he was watching the hockey, which I'm still pissed off about.
Yeah, I'm fucking pissed off about it, dude. Fuck this.
Fuck the I was getting
this face. I was getting this face about how the Capitals are gonna lose, and now they're up 3-1 in the fucking series. Like, fuck this.
Dude, hopefully it just happens and we can bully Dewey about how the Capitals have lost a 3-1 lead.
Oh, if fucking no, I'm sorry.
If it happens.
Sorry to Dewey. If he's watching this, I'm sorry, Dewey. You're getting the fuck bullied out of you if they choke a 3-1 lead now. Like, I don't care how much you like the Capitals or how much you tell me to stop. You're getting the fuck bullied out of you if they choke a 3-1 lead now.
I don't think Dewey would ever leave his bed ever again if the Capitals choked it. He's been
this poor guy.
Like, that's his whole team too. Like, he lives in Atlanta now, but he's from Denver.
Isn't that okay? True. Fair enough.
He's like,
I know he's a big Capitals fan, yeah.
He's a stupid Capitals fan. He's a dumb Capitals fan.
Yeah.
I remember like a couple of years ago when he was a fucking Pittsburgh Penguins fan, though.
Well, yeah, I think he's a fan of multiple teams, right? Like,
maybe he's a fan of every team that gets victory. There's no wonder he's a fucking Patriots fan.
Okay, but I've been a Patriots fan for a while, but I've also watched them suffer some hard losses, so give me credit where it's due. It's fucking hard to watch them lose.
How the fuck do you think I feel? I'm a fucking Lions fan.
Well, as someone who comes from Toronto, I understand. Well, not from Toronto, but really close to Toronto. As someone who's closest to Toronto,
you idiot.
Yeah. But regardless, all that aside, for someone who comes fucking living close to Toronto and cheers for most Toronto teams, I know what it's like to need to have more than one team, because if I relied on Toronto to win a fucking World Series playoff or whatever the fuck, I literally would never be celebrating. They do not fucking win.
Of course
they just don't. The only thing that they seem to win is fucking like the Grey Cup, and that's literally like a Canada exclusive thing. Like, that's not a national thing. Like, fuck this. I hate it.
So, seeing as this is the art of ROBLOX Wrestling, I suppose we should talk about ROBLOX Wrestling, yeah.
Yeah, enough fucking hockey talk.
I really wanted to make this just a hockey podcast now, but I'll leave it for now.
Welcome to the art of row hockey. New podcast. Let's
Flurry the goat. End of. Wasn't the fucking goat tonight though. Fucking pissed off. Anyway, let's talk about this huge fucking massive partnership we've got going on.
This huge big dick partnership we got going on.
Yeah, did you just say big dick partnership?
Why not?
I'm just blowing my dicks about.
It sounds like a good term. I like it. So what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like
DB Tech with like RCW and the RWA and the whole fucking shebang. Because I don't think people realize how much you, me, and Ken talk. Yeah,
it's been a good discussion with it lately, obviously, because DB Tech has obviously become quite a prominent thing. I'm not just saying that because you're obviously all here right now, but DB Tech's been it's getting a good amount of attention. And we saw Sonic X-Men tweet earlier today about it, and that's dead from the grave stuff coming out.
Cunt could at least tag my fucking Twitter though.
Fucking at me if you know what, if you're gonna fucking praise me, you better at me. I swear to God, I want gratification. Yeah, true. I love that.
I need acceptance, for fuck's sake.
I know, yeah, like, that's the thing. If I'm gonna get gratification and someone's gonna suck my dick, I want to see it firsthand. I don't want to figure out a month and a half later that, oh, this guy was sucking my dick and now he hates me. Fuck.
I want to be able
it.
to look down and see you sucking my dick.
Wow, okay. Thank God you're not monetizing this shit. This shit would be, like, demonetized in a second and a half with shit like this.
Hey, I won't get fucking used to monetize it anyway.
I know.
10 people are gonna fucking listen to this, and then 100 people will listen to it in fucking 4 weeks' time.
Hopefully, right? Hopefully. Yeah, the partnership with DB Tech it's been good so far. I think my version of TDL wasn't working so well. For reference, TDL, Takedown Live, whatnot. My deathmatch division not working out so well on my end. But if you just watch Backlash, DB's taken over on that.
So as it was announced, I'm the official general manager and general showrunner of Takedown Live. So basically, I'm going to be making Takedown Live its own show, hopefully.
Oh yeah, hopefully, right? Because we discussed about it, and I feel like I don't know whether we want to get into like the specifics of what we were thinking about it in terms of its expansion, but we just think that its own show. As opposed to being sort of a sub part of someone else's show, like being part of Nitro, being part of Thunder, maybe part of Outbreak, just like being a little side attraction in there, having it be its own sort of thing would be more beneficial. Sort of like how there's her Deathmatch Gym, Deathmatch Federations, etc. It's like they're going, and when they go, they know what they're to expect. They're not going there to a clean show expecting takedown. They're going to a clean show expecting clean, and they go to a takedown deathmatch show expecting deathmatch takedown. You know what I mean?
It's more of a case of serving the audience because it's become a lot more prominent now, with everyone actually getting a shot of it at like Takedown Gym and stuff like that, or getting a random like pre-show match with it, or even like APRW. It's used really, really often, even in segments. Ken's fucking obsessed with this shit. He won't fucking leave me alone about it.
I know.
Like fucking every fucking hour is like, hey DB, can you set this up for me? And I'm like, fucking hang me now. But no, it's fucking hilarious, dude. People are fucking loving it, and it's like, it's the same reaction I got when it first came about, like back in the day when the original takedowns were made by me.
That's the thing,
just
right?
to clear up a little timeline, because people don't seem to realize how this worked. So, fucking ages ago, I made the first takedowns. And it was basically, I hit your opponent and they sit down. But the way Roblox physics worked back then is that basically, if you hit them and they sat down, if they weren't sitting up straight, they basically jumped and they'd be like tripped.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing those, although I think by the time that I eventually started using them...
This was fucking years ago. And then, obviously back then, I ran a little thing called X Division Wrestling, and it was like an actual pinfall system, but it wouldn't work nowadays because of the physics updates. But I had like a really niche group of people that did it, and they loved it and all that shit. Alumni from that being like guys like Homicide Extreme, Alcasis. There's quite a few other names that have probably disappeared off the face of the earth, but yeah. So, Cena 54 John was one of them. Dewey 5280. People that don't know, D-Pain. Basically, we got into a bit of beef, and he leaked my takedowns. So he got a hold of them. I can't remember how he did it, but he got a hold of them and leaked them, so everyone got them. So people got confused, thinking Dewey made them for a while. And then when physics broke, a lot of different people made their own version. So it kind of became hazy. It's like, no one remembers who made the clean tool. I do, because I was kind of there. For people that don't know who made the clean tool, it was a guy named Xiao1323. He's a really cool dude. He has his own family now and stuff like that. Really, really nice guy. One of the nicest guys you could have ever met. And his Fed was fun as hell, to be honest with you. But yeah, my aim with DB Tech wasn't to like, hey, let's make this better, let's make this, hey, this is ours, fuck you guys. No. The aim is to eventually get DB Tech everywhere. I mean fucking everywhere. The reason it's only in APRW, RCW, and VDW just
Seriously?
now.
Oh.
So basically, the free like the free biggest RWA
DB Tech.
feds, they've got DB Tech because it's just the easiest to bug test in a larger stage. So
That's fair.
initially I had to deal with CCW, and then that went to shit. I'm not going to go into why it went to shit because I don't need to. Let's just say it wasn't on. How it was being ran wasn't on my terms, despite that being what it was agreed. So there was a breach of contract, the Luchetti thing. So that's kind of why I was like, I'm just going to pull out of this deal. However, I then got the message from Kidz and it was like, we want to have DB Tech here. And I was like, cool, fucking A, yeah, fucking take my shit, please. Make me famous. Because back then I wasn't really doing much on Roblox at all. I was kind of just collecting Robux from a day-to-day from my other projects. And then fucking just was like, cool, I don't actually need to be here. And then just kind of disappeared off the face of the earth for a couple of months again. And then started planning out how Tatum Live was going to work. And then, obviously we weren't making progress. You put out a fucking tweet saying, hey, it's coming tomorrow. I see the tweet, you didn't even fucking message me. I was like, could have had some fucking warning.
Which was this? Oh.
This was before we first set it up.
Oh yeah, was it? Fuck, maybe.
Yes, because
I'm bad as fuck for organizing.
I remember what it was. It wasn't even you that fucking messaged me. It was Tams that messaged me because it was for fucking. It was for Takeover.
Oh yeah, well that would have been his job to do that, wouldn't it have?
Well, yeah.
And then then I asked you on the Takeover because I think I had previously had an idea of what we wanted to do for the because the match that I think we're talking about here would be the tag team TLC match.
Oh yeah, the big clusterfuck
4
TLC.
teams turned into 5. Yeah. So the plan for that, long story short, was we were gonna have we tried to, because that's another active project that I'm trying to do, and I pushed a lot of people away from tag team for the sole purpose of I think that we're driving away from actual tag teams, such as the De Niro Dynasty, such as the recent Protocol 484, classic teams like DX and Brutal Jackson, the Galloways, etc. Like teams that, sure, they may have OP members, they might not have OP members, but they're actually like teams and whatnot. So that's sort of what the project of that match was to get established teams. So what we had was Brutal Jackson, Galloways, DX. Who was the other team?
Mall Cops.
Well, that was the surprise.
That was the surprise team. That was the Hardy Boy role.
Yeah, that was a sort of a decision a while before, because Matt wasn't satisfied with his last match with Dolphin, because that was just a heaving pile of shit. It turns out
the Brock Lesnar match.
Well, in a sense, but in the sense that also Dolphin's just kind of an asshole and kind of just a dumb fuck as a whole.
Elaborate.
So, he has a thing. He once left my federation and then subsequently left all of Pro Wrestling because he had to wait 2 hours for a match or some garbage. God forbid, off brand. He was Thunder on a Nitro show, having to wait 2 hours for his match. Some fan owners, like back at that time especially, wouldn't even bother to book off-brand people, much less book them before the 2 hour point. So it's like, what the fuck are you complaining about? So he full-fledged left.
It's not even your fucking show. Like, why?
Yeah. Like, I appreciate you attending, and I just want to make that clear. Like, I appreciate the hell out of you guys attending shows that aren't yours, but, my priority is booking those who did come to the show knowing it was theirs.
It's like it's not your place to get booked. You have your own show for a reason, kind of thing?
Yeah. And of course they, typically speaking, 9 times out of 10, I'm there booking every single person that comes, whether you're fans, Outbreak, or otherwise.
Yeah, no.
But that comes later. That comes later afterwards, because show is priority. So then he started jobbing out all his matches like a little bitch, left for a while. Then for some reason, some stupid thing went on in my head, and I'm like, all right, Matt wants to have his final match at Judgment Day. We need a guy who is hated enough, heel enough to retire this guy and get heel heat for it. I'm like, Dolphin, he just returned, and everyone fucking hates him. So that guy could be the perfect guy. And then I realized, wait a minute, there's a reason people hate him. He's not really good at getting heat. He's just dumb as fuck. So it dawned upon me that Dolphin is not actually a good heel. He's actually just really, really stupid. About halfway into the feud, so that also dawned upon Matt halfway through the feud. So Matt wasn't happy with his last match. So we're like, hey, I bet we could do this better. Let's have you do this little thing at Mania. Last Mall Cops match. It's one of his favorite things, in his career. He'd been world champion in multiple places, champion other places, but his favorite thing he ever did was his tag team with CM Punk, right? The Mall Cops and whatnot, trying to reinvigorate the tag team division. And I think he did a decent job. Him and Seiji just made tag wrestling fun and whatnot. They always had ideas for it, was their thing.
I've always felt tag wrestling is heavily underrated on Roblox.
I think it can, but I think at the same time we also got, I think a good portion of Pro Wrestling eventually just got really together on this idea of, hey, it'd be a great tag team putting Eddie Slayer and Aiden Killer or Eddie Slayer and Brutal Damon on the same team. Let's just put the most overpowered guys on the same team. But there's no connection between that. Tag team champions in APW and RCW right now are Pandax, JoJo Parker, and Tyson Virgo. Tyson Virgo, right? Tyson Virgo and JoJo Parker, the Dinner Dynasty. That's the thing. As singles competitors, they did little to nothing. But the chemistry they have with one another as a tag team works together to make a tag team that people A, care about, and B, is evidently relatively successful, right?
All right.
It isn't just two overpowered stack members, bullying the match and becoming really good in the match. It's actually a little bit of work to it. And so if you push away these teams that are literally just made up on the spot and you actually tell people, hey, you have to have an established team, you could sure, it's a bit more of an exclusive division, and sure, it seems a bit counterintuitive to push people away from a division to grow it, but then you're actually building up people who care about the division, like the Mall Cops did, like Brutal Jackson did, like the Dinner Dynasty do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So stuff like that. It's just an all-around better idea to build the division around those that care than to reward people who very loosely care and just think, hey, it's a belt. A belt is a belt, right?
Yeah, I suppose. Coming towards more recent times, I was at, albeit very shortly, at Backlash, obviously, for the announcement. However, I was there for one or two matches.
Yeah.
And I noticed a trend in the crowd, and I want to get your genuine opinion on this. I saw a lot of fucking chants about auto-clicking and scripting.
That would be between, which match? Do you remember which match that was? Because I think that was TM Punk's.
It happened in multiple. The one I'm looking at on Twitter
Damon
right now
and Cyan.
Is that one.
Damon.
Yeah.
Damon and Cyan there. Sorry, I mixed up because I thought I was combining.
It did happen during a couple though.
Yeah, I know.
It also happened during Rudy versus Anthony.
Yeah, so if I'm thinking of the card right now, I think a lot of people, and I think it was maybe a poor decision on my part in some ends, but I think everyone knows to an extent there are some scripted parts to Pro Wrestling. Sure, a lot of it's competitive and whatnot, but at the same time, we're just going back down to the 2016 days. I commonly refer to anytime people are in calls, 2016 days. It's just strictly fighting. There's no story to it. There's no character to it. It's just you going in, you fight, and you win or you lose, and that's it. There's nothing else to it. Maybe the occasional story angle to it, but it's just 2 years ago, everything was just so focused on fighting as opposed to any form of entertainment. And that was my thing, right? And that was an experiment I sort of tried with Backlash, was we had some things that were sort of, in a sense, predetermined. I'm trying to think in my head, I don't think anything title-wise was predetermined, because I think when it comes to the title, that's where the pinnacle of your performance should come, and it should be, you're actually trying to win, right? As that would be. But I think one of the early matches that we did on the card, Psycho and Clutcha, was what started that, because we came up with the idea of a draw for a finish, right? So it would just be, there's no definitive winner, because what we're doing is something down the line. I won't spoil that, obviously, since it hasn't happened, but the point is there's something down the line, so we don't want to spoil a direct result right now. So it seems a bit out there. Obviously, maybe that wasn't the best decision to go with it. I'll say that much, obviously, but I think that ended up transpiring later on into it. And the minute that they realized Cyan's career was on the line, they interpreted that Damon and Cyan would be a fixed match, scripted match, etc. And I don't know where the auto clicking thing came from. I think that one. That's my thing. That died out a while ago, so that's kind of just out of the blue. But the scripted one kind of comes from. Yeah. A couple other predetermined results, right?
I'm sorry, I'm scrolling for Twitter right now, and all I'm seeing is everyone jumping at LXM right now. Fucking everyone.
I don't get that. I don't get that.
Here's a quote from Ethan. Right, you ready?
Oh boy. Oh no. It's okay. Go ahead.
Dude, can you please shut up? Clean is better because it's not soft like you animated fuckers LMFAO. Fuck out of here with that shit. Like, look at you and your PFP. Look dumb as hell and you're nothing compared to me. LMAO fucking prick. I'll really slam you and rip you apart, cunt. Boy.
Yeah, Ethan does that a lot. He's got a really... If you look back at some of his other tweets, he just does that for the...
I know, it's just fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he's fun, yeah, but
And then there's Moody. It's very sad when you have to use my name, you stupid idiot who says he retired but still manages to come back to the community. You know what happens to people like you, LXM, who just made the list from Kidz Rock 4.
I know. It's just... It's ridiculous. I don't get his thing. I'd like to think with someone that has intelligence the way LXM does, because I'm fairly confident that LXM is a relatively intelligent person, right?
Kind of fucking has to be, dude.
I mean, like, to make the stuff that he makes, and you can argue till the cows come home, whatever the fuck you want, but the stuff he makes, I think, is impressive, genuinely. Like, that's some decently nice stuff.
You can't discredit what he's done, however.
Yeah, obviously. But I just don't get his means of trying to build the community. Like, people have clearly taken an interest. Like, I've heard it from some of the top names there are in Clean, like Undead Brock, and I think Dewey said it at one point.
Dewey's a big fan of it, yeah.
Yeah, so many more others. Sorry, I can't come up with examples on the spot here. But many top Clean wrestlers have said, hey, I like animated. I tried it out. I like it. It's something I want to do. And so many have said it. And, that's the kind of reputation you should be building up on, in my opinion, is that, hey, I like it, I want to do it, like DB Tech is doing. It's not, DB Tech isn't coming out there and saying, oh, fucking, Clean is all fucking stupid, everyone in the community is dumb as hell. DB Tech doesn't deal with any of these.
The only thing I've been doing is bashing stuff, is bashing the way TDs are just now. With fair reason.
But that's your own market,
right now are fucking ass.
But that's with your own market. That's not against someone else's market.
Yeah,
in the sense that
I replied to LXM, and he continued being like, well, it's about the community, it's about the communities. And I'm like, well, your community's probably less than 200 people, and Cleveland gets new people every single day. I probably have more than 200 different people play WWE 2K18. At least my fucking version, every day.
And that's the thing, he made a list, and it's like each one of his things on his list just kind of comes down to generalizations, assumptions,
do you want to go through his list right now? I'm down to go through it.
Alright, I got it. I think I have it pulled up. It's just like, the first two are just like, first two are like
98 less complaints, 100% less excuses.
Yeah, obviously, aside from the fact that those are just like estimate numbers, and
I
won't even.
I would like to know. I would like to have your sources for your thesis here. Community is actually moderated and connected as one. Well, the very large majority of this sort of wrestling, like the Clean community now, is kind of, it's not controlled or governed, but there is some sort of hierarchy.
Mm-hmm. But the thing about his, right? The thing about his one is that he has the stuff, right? Nobody else. Yeah. I wouldn't even, I'm sure with enough years under my belt or something like that, or I'm sure if you gave it a crack at it, someone could probably snap something similar to it. But it's taken him years to develop it to the way that it is now, like fine-tuning, getting through all his hurdles.
It's still nowhere near perfect.
Yeah, it's still improving, obviously. Even Clean's not perfect, TD's not perfect, nothing's perfect, but...
No, but...
Everything comes with its flaws, right?
Yeah, but at the same time...
Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying, right? But, a lot of these things really do come to the fact that it is him solely, overlooking this. Sure, he's probably got some people in his metaphorical cabinet or whatnot, or people that are overlooking it for him as well, like general managers and second-in-commands. But, as a whole, he is the government. It's not, because that's the thing.
He's the judge, jury, and executioner there.
That's a better metaphor for that. But, as opposed, if you compare that to Clean, if I said something would go, sure, a lot of people would follow that. But if APRW one day decided, hey, I don't want to fucking follow that, well, then we're gonna have a whole hell of a lot of war there. Like if I say, oh, Cleans should be this way, and Ken fucking disagrees with that 100%, says no, Clean should be this way, then we're not having a uniform move forward there. We're about to have a little bit of a debate here, maybe even a borderline war about it right there. Like people are gonna argue about it's not, thank God we agree on most things when it comes to that. Otherwise,
yeah, definitely.
we'd be dealing another RW TNX or RW VCW crap, and we don't need that right now.
Or CCW versus everyone.
Yeah, we don't need any of that. Yeah, thank God we agree on that.
Let's see, what's the next one? People who wrong the community are actually stay gone. Well, the same case in point there. You're the judge, jury, and executioner. You're the only one that has your shit.
Yeah, with us we have to constantly.
Clean tools are literally just a fucking free model.
Yeah, you can literally find...
The guy that made them doesn't even fucking touch Roblox anymore. And hasn't touched Roblox in the last fucking 4 years.
For sure.
It's like, we can't control who comes in and out of the community. We can only control who comes in and out of our companies. Case in point, Aiden Killer.
And also to add on to that, I've seen it more in the last few days than I had seen in the past 2 months. But a couple federations had slipped and let him in to them, and we spoke to them as best we could to reason with them. I don't want to bring up any Fed names for the sake of seeming like it's slander to them, but one Fed brought him in. We tweeted at him, said, no respect for this federation if they're gonna, if they're gonna show spineless management and not stick with their word about firing him. And then they fired him, stripped him, and whatnot. So they saw the reason with it. And then I spoke to the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that one. And then the other one is, I won't mention that one either, but we told them likewise that there's a reason he's gone, and he need not another chance. Aiden Keller, obviously, right?
He doesn't fucking deserve one.
We've given him hundreds. He'll say, I swear to fucking God, I saw him tweet out, this isn't my 100th chance, man. Shut the fuck up. It's my 14th. It's like, the fact that you actually said it's your 14th is really something else, I think. But,
I'm impressed you even got fucking 2. Hell, if it was my fucking choice, you would even fucking get 1.
Yeah, people were way too generous with him, and it has been much more than 14, but the fact that that's his go-to number is really saying something.
Yeah. One for every IQ point he has. Anyway. Whether the person is 10 or 23, they all act like they have some common sense.
That's
if they all had common sense, I wouldn't have them jumping at me on Twitter because I'm trying to have a debate with you about this.
Yeah, I don't think some have common sense and some don't. That really doesn't come down to the community. That comes down to the people.
Oh, here's one of my favorite ones. No arguments over stupid shit like exposing and other shit like that.
As we have just started an argument about whether RP or whether animated or clean is better. No stupid arguments. No stupid
arguments, please. Annoyances get dealt with swiftly and possibly excommunicated.
Again, that really comes down to the one-man government.
Yeah, it's like your own Discord. You can fucking block people however you please.
Which is good. I mean, I can't say that system doesn't work. Surely it does. But as far as clean goes, that's not an option.
Size.
Yeah, obviously. As far as clean goes, that's not an option. Like I said, if Ken 1 randomly decided that he wants to disagree with me on something, then we're stuck at a disagreement, and we'll have to work that out somehow. But with him, it's a uniform decision because it is literally just him. There's no alternative. It's a monopoly on the business, right?
Okay, here's one. Knows the limits of taking something seriously.
I don't know. I've seen some fucking kids absolutely snap over the shit. I've seen it's rare. I will admit it's much more rare than clean, but that also comes down to the sample size. But I've seen some kids absolutely lose their shit.
I've seen a lot of people lose their shit over
it. I'd say it's unfair to say that it's perfect. It's definitely better, but at the same time, that's also like saying that Switzerland produces less pollution than the United States. You're probably not wrong, but there is a sizable population difference there. There's kind of a reason.
It's like comparing fucking China to Zimbabwe.
Yeah, there's a reason that one is producing so many more problems. There's also 1.3 billion people on the other one. Probably only a few million on the other.
Okay, here's one. I don't know why this affects the actual wrestling standpoint, but everyone actually has a sense of humor. How the fuck do you know?
Yeah,
Have you talked to Have you got every single person to do a fucking stand-up routine?
Dude, that's the thing. That's the thing to get an XCWE, dude. You gotta prove a stand-up.
Animated's got talent.
Animated's got talent. No, but dude, there's some funny guys in clean. I mean, memes are taking more of a center stage than ever. And Matt Hardy helps with that. Don Morris,
Don, dude, I love that.
There's some funny shits out there. I think I've made a few funny.
Okay, here's one. Right. Actually resembles wrestling match-wise.
What the fuck?
Like, it absolutely, like, it resembles a wrestling match.
Cool. So does RP. I don't know what point you're trying to make.
Yeah.
Should everyone just go over to RP now?
Yo, guys.
I mean, I get what you're saying, and you're not wrong, but it also doesn't hold any prevalence to the situation, like, at all.
Like,
You're
also playing a game with fucking Legos. Why does it matter?
I've also played WWE 2K before, and you know, it does not exhaust me like a real life wrestling match. So does that mean I guess I shouldn't play it because it doesn't treat me like a real wrestling match? Like,
I don't feel the pain. It's not real enough.
Yeah, like next animated update I'm expecting in 2019 is like pain receptors off your computer. Like every time you take a fucking bump, it's just like it shocks you. Just boom.
Shut there you go. The system.
Fucking Mike Johnson is now injured for like 3 months because he tore his ACL. Fucking animated wrestling. Oh no, side tangent. No,
sorry guys, can't come to work today. I twisted my ankle playing an online game.
He's out of school for a month because he fucking has a torn meniscus from animated wrestling.
Takes a fucking back bump way too far, lands on neck. I'm now paralyzed IRL.
Chris Benoit has just murdered his family. The traumatic brain trauma he suffered from animated wrestling.
Boy.
I'm sorry, that's fucked up. That was fucked up. No, there's a little side tangent there before we go on the list. I'm not going to mention the name of the Raw wrestler, but I feel like you could probably get a good guess. We talked about him earlier on this stream being banned from several places.
Okay.
Anyways, I'll leave that to people to assume. Anyways, so he went to go for a swing. This was like summer of 2017. He went to go for a swing in a match, right?
Right.
And he said, "Pause the match." And I'm like, "What? Why?" I think I just threw out my fucking arm, and I'm like, "Did you?" Dumbass, did you just throw out your fucking arm swinging on someone?
To be honest though, there's been quite a few people that have injured themselves actually Raw wrestling.
I'm sitting here like, I think I'd quit. I think I'd actually quit if I got a Raw wrestling injury.
I think
I'd quit,
no,
that's it.
Don't hold me to this, but I'm pretty sure it happened, and I'll need to ask him later. But I'm pretty sure Rudy was swinging and hit his hand off something and broke one of his fingers. I swear to God, I'm pretty sure he was swinging and absolutely just hit his hand off something. I can't remember what it was, and he like broke a finger.
Jesus, that's fucking awful, dude. I'm sorry. No offense to anyone who's done it, but fucking, I'd quit. I'd quit if I injured myself for wrestling. That's it.
I'd hang up my boots, bro.
I'm throwing in the towel. I've had enough. The pain is not for me.
Okay, here's the next one. Racism and sexism isn't permitted, and the women's and men's wrestlers are actually equal, without half the community being dickwads.
What?
Yeah.
That comes down to people. That doesn't come down to your community, and also a smaller sample size. I mean, we like to think racism.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I just need to go to the next one. Fuck that original one. But the wrestlers are actually their specified sex. How the fuck do you know?
How the fuck? Have you seen every one of your Raw wrestlers' dicks? I guess we immediately assume that they're men. Slash vaginas. Dude, have you, man? Dude, fuck this. Dude, fuck this clean thing. I'm going to animated. Apparently this guy's seeing mad pussy. I'm not going to lie to you. This guy's getting hella nudes and he knows all the specified sex.
Wait, hold on. This could be a lot worse. What if they're like 13, dude?
Oh no, isn't he?
I would like to point out I am not calling LXM a pedophile or a rapist.
But LXM, if you are doing that, please stop doing that. If you are doing that, please stop doing that. I'm not saying you are, just if you are,
allegedly.
Please, dear God, stop.
Allegedly.
Yes. I don't think that he is. I don't think that's what he's implying. Just disclaimer, I don't think he's actually implying that. I think it's an assumption, but again, it's just an assumption. You really don't know if there's a catfish in your community.
Oh, a deep sigh. Okay, can't cheat the system. No auto-clicking, healthing, or other shit.
I don't know. If your community gets bigger, someone will find a way.
I'm sure if you try hard enough. Put enough monkeys in a room with a typewriter and you'll eventually write Monday Night Raw.
Exactly. Fucking honestly though. Like if your community gets big, there's probably a time in Raw Wrestling where everyone's like, oh, how the fuck do you cheat something this simple? Like, this game is just so simple. There's no physical way you can cheat it. And then boom, there it is, auto clicker right there. You can't help it. It's there now. There's a way. There will be a way. Someone will glitch it. Someone will be smart, and it'll catch on, spread like wildfire.
Okay, here's one. Can't cheat the system. No auto-clicking, healthing, and other shit.
Yeah.
Oh wait, shit, I read that one. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I didn't know you were repeating the pointer.
For people that don't know, I'm recording this at like 4:40 in the morning.
It's 11:40 for me.
No need for extraordinary rules to prevent stuff like reach, trips, exploits, etc.
I mean, I guess, but you'll eventually need extraordinary rules once people start exploiting the system. Like, even tag matches got that thing where they, tag over and over in a loop, and you got to put some, quote, extraordinary rule in place for that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Every match, every system, like, DB Tech had to ban putting items on top of a trip. Yeah, they had to ban that. I mean, the minute that you think of just, you're just tossing people around into weapons, you're being strategic with it, you probably off the top of your head, you didn't think, putting weapons on top of someone had to be banned, and then people started doing it, you had to ban it. It's an extraordinary rule. You don't immediately expect it, but it happens.
Like, let's put this in perspective. Let's talk about this from, mixed martial arts. There's a rule that I fucking despise, right? But it's the reason that MMA is allowed in a lot of places. There's a thing called so there's a banned strike that's called the 12-6 elbow. And it's basically your elbow coming straight up and straight down 12-6. Right?
Okay.
It's fucking dumb. But you don't think about it. For example, this is a conversation that happened between the referees Big John McCarthy and Herb Dean. Herb Dean was the referee for the match. John McCarthy was in the meeting when they sorted out these rules as a representative of the UFC. And basically, a fighter went up to John McCarthy before the fight and was like, "Can I do this strike from the guard?" Use it in John McCarthy's head. If you're on your back, it's no longer 12-6 because it's horizontal.
Yeah.
Right? Herb Dean was in the refereeing the fight and was like, "You can't do that strike." And it's one of the funniest things ever to me is it was like, right, okay, he kept trying to do the strike and he was like told, "No, you can't do that strike." And he was like, "What the fuck?" So the match finished and then the fight finished and then the fighter went up to John McCarthy and was like, Herb Dean said I couldn't do that fucking strike. You said I could. What the fuck? He's like, "You could." So he went to go back and have words with Herb Dean. John McCarthy's like, "Yo, why did you say he wasn't able to do the elbow?" He's like, he was doing it 12-6. He was like, "Yeah, but he was on his back. It's like a clock face, 12-6. He's like, "Well, yeah, but what if the clock's on the ceiling?" How often do you see a fucking clock in the ceiling? Like, you don't. It's the way everyone else's minds work. You don't think of shit until it happens.
Exactly. That's you can't fault anyone for that. Obviously, like there's going to be some. I'm sure in clean again, it's going to happen again soon, right? There's going to be some obscene shit that we never thought could happen, and then it did happen. Like this Mistash auto healing controversy thing. We didn't think someone was going to go off and start auto healing themselves,
right.
But then someone did.
Explain how auto healing works, though, because I've never been around clean recently, and not long enough to actually figure out what everything is. Like, I barely fucking give a fuck about auto clicking, to be honest. But yeah.
Yeah, that was another problem in itself that I want to maybe get on later. But in the ways of auto healing, I again take everything I say with a grain of salt here. It's purely speculation because I was not there. I did not see any of the scripts, but from the recordings I've seen, what would happen is someone being Mistash in this example, and I have no idea if anyone else has done it or been caught doing it. But as far as I can tell, Mistash had some form of exploit script or otherwise in place that would heal her anytime she took damage much, much quicker than anyone else, as far as I could tell. So the script seemed like it would do some form of loop, and it would just heal exponentially. So it would start off healing, 1 or 2 every second, then 3 or 4, then 5 or 6, and just keep going up and up and up until you're healing like 20 every single time you heal. Because it would get quicker. It would start slow and then do it. And I recreated the thing in just a couple minutes. Like I just threw something together. I'm like, okay, this might be what it's doing. And sure enough, it reproduced almost identical results. So I don't know what the situation is. We haven't had any giant documented cases, so maybe it's bullshit, right? But we haven't had any documented cases of it actually happening since. So either it was just her, or it was luck of the draw, or some glitch that day. I don't know what it was, but that's it. But people blew it out of proportion. Like, it blew up on Twitter, so now people think it's a bigger problem than it actually is.
That's a big thing. in wrestling. People blowing shit up for no reason.
There's things that need to be blown up on Twitter, and then there's things that absolutely do not need to be blown up on Twitter, because if they get blown up on Twitter, you
It
can't
becomes
unring
everyone
that
else's
bell.
problem.
Yeah, exactly. You cannot unring the bell of it blowing up on Twitter. Once it's blown up on Twitter, it's been in front of, 100 to hundreds of people's eyes. Lord knows how many, right? Some people don't like it, some people don't retweet it or even click it, but they see it, and that's all that matters. Once you've seen it, once you know it exists, you're not thinking of it the same.
Yeah.
It's like when I produced that list of everyone that auto-clicked, like, so many of those people, and some of those people still cannot be looked at the same because they've done what they've done.
It's like a fucking crime. It's like you're a fucking sex offender.
Yeah, it's boom. There you go. It's right there. But sure, some people agree with and some people disagree with the idea of posting the list of the people over the 3-week test period that we did, because obviously we didn't catch everyone. There's no physical way we could have caught everyone. But it's set as an example. And I felt, from my perspective, that if a serious statement wasn't put forward right from the get-go, people weren't going to take it as serious, right?
Yeah.
Because you remember how fucking much that thing blew up.
Oh yeah.
October 22nd.
I wasn't even fucking active around then, dude. Like I just started a job IRL. I was away for Roblox for 5-6 months, easy, and I still fucking heard about it.
Yeah, because it's a thing, right? Because we had dealt with the problem. People were getting more and more and more suspicious that auto-clicking was in some of our top stars. Obviously, I'm not going to recite the list. There's no need to recite the list because you can go back if you really desperately want to find it, but I see no reason otherwise because every single person who was caught on that list has pretty much never been caught otherwise. Hasn't happened. So thankfully for that, it's a podcast, Ken.
This is a podcast?
But thankfully... Yes, it's a podcast.
Wait, are we live?
Yeah. No, we're not. Well, we're recording, Cam.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, thankfully, I think only like 1, maybe 2 people have been caught on that were on that list. 1 or 2 people have been caught since. But other than that, it's corrected the behavior almost 100%, right? You virtually don't even have to test. I mean, you should. You absolutely should. But you pretty much don't have to in the sense that everyone polices themselves. Because if you get caught, you are fucked. Because someone got caught doing that in February, and they left pro wrestling over it. So,
Boy.
I won't... Yeah, so if you get caught doing it, you are as good as fucked. So, moral of the story, don't fucking try it.
But I don't see the point.
Right? Well, someone claimed, and that's someone being LXM, I feel like the name needs to be there now because we were just talking about it, and we're talking about his list. He claimed that auto-clicking does nothing. And I get that in theory, he thinks that it shouldn't do anything, but upon testing it and physically putting it to the test, because nothing speaks louder than a physical test of it, no test results that I had came up with the result that auto-clicking does nothing. The results were between 2 and 5 times more damage for the exact same test period, exact same test distance. Every single test I did, and I did. Ken can. I think Ken would be able to testify this. I did dozens of tests testing auto-clickers versus non-auto-clickers, like myself testing what an auto-clicker would be like versus what a non-auto-clicker would be like, and the results were anywhere from 2 to 5 times more damage, no matter what the test was. There was no equal results. There were no less than results. It was always more. So, and he's been making the claim for quite a while, and then he got Alex Tatum's, of all people, to verify it, and then Alex Tatum's went off, posted something of his script, and you could tell right from the video. I think I might still have it recorded, possibly, because the minute I saw him upload it, I recorded it, because I'm like, there's no fucking way he actually uploaded this and didn't notice that there was a difference. And then I pointed out to him, hey, by the way, there is a difference. You can literally see the difference between an auto-clicker and a non-auto-clicker, and the auto-clicker is clicking way fucking faster. It's not timing out at any point the way he was suggesting, so he took it down. And I'm like, don't just blindly follow whatever you hear. Actually, question and test it. Yeah, exactly. It'll do you a million miles. It really will.
Anyways, fill you in, Ken. We're going through LXM's list of whether,
animated is better than clean.
So his tweet initially said, "A thread on why animated is better than clean. Feel free to add your own comments. This list was compiled by myself and several members of the community." He then goes ahead and changes his statement about it all to be that it's about the community and not about animated. So, whatever. Anyway, the next one on the list. No bitching after matches. That's fucking bullshit.
That really comes down to generalization, like, oh, the people you see don't bitch after. I've seen people bitch after matches. It's, again, much less than clean, but again, there is also much
Smaller
less people
sample
than
size.
clean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Main people have creative gimmicks and aren't direct rip-offs.
I think that's honestly, I get what he's saying with that, and I think that's one of those things that is sort of correcting itself a little bit better in clean than it was years ago. Sure, there are rip-off gimmicks, but at the same time reinvented, and there's more entertainment. Like, back then, obviously, it's a meme, it's a go-to example, is that 2016, 2017, everyone looked like Eddie, or everyone looked like Diddy, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, people are trying to get a little bit more unique. Now, I'm not gonna be the guy that's preaching, oh, everybody's different now, everyone's got a different thing. Obviously, that's not the fucking case. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that's the case.
Oh, yeah.
So many people still look like Eddie. So many people still look like Diddy. And there's different default styles, but people are still following after those. Like, the originality is not exactly perfectly there, but there's more creativity to the gimmicks now, I find, and there's a lot less rip-offs. There's still a lot, but there's less.
Okay, let's see what else is there. Actually know how to argue and will admit they're wrong afterwards. It's a shame. It's a shame when the owner doesn't know how to do that.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm not even going to go full detail. I'm literally just going to say the word irony. That's all there is to this point. Irony. That's it.
No Moody's, Flints, Aidens, etc., and even then they get exiled to the void. Well, so did Aiden.
I think Aiden got exiled to the void. Sure, there's Flint and Muddy, but I think that again comes down to the one-man government.
Okay, here's one. Entertainment is the primary focus and not winning the match.
I think people have under-recognized that people are like a whole hell of a lot more focused, and that kind of came down to what we sort of did at Backlash. Like, there was some results where people weren't so focused on. If this was Backlash 2 years ago, there would have been no predetermined results. Everyone would have gone in and said, fuck it. I had a match against Thames 2 years ago at Backlash, and I wasn't even worried about putting him over. I literally just wanted to beat him. That was my mentality 2 years ago. It's just fighting. Did not think about the storyline about it.
This is one thing. Alright. I like it a lot more when pro wrestling is competitive.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a lot more enjoyable to me when it's competitive. There was one thing I wanted to try, and I never really got around to it, but it was like running a clean fed that's rankings based.
Yeah.
So like I'm talking like UFC rankings based.
Mhm.
And I thought it'd be really cool just to like keep records and stuff like that. I'm a big fucking like stats guy. I love fucking statistics of all sorts. It's I'm obsessed with it. And I thought it'd be really cool. I just never really got around to it. But here's the thing, right? So entertainment is the primary focus, not winning the match. However, his next one is you can be competitive and focus on winning while still entertaining.
I think that really. I mean, I'll give him that point. That point, in my perspective, I'd give him that.
Is that not counterintuitive though? Entertainment is the primary focus, not winning the match. You could still be competitive and focus on winning while still entertaining.
I feel like that's sort of a callback to his previous one. I get what you're saying about it being counterintuitive, but I mean, I'll agree with the premise that sure the matches by default are more entertaining, but that's also because I'll agree with the premise that there's a lot more to animated, because really there's about 3 things you can do in clean, and that's keep your clean idle, put your clean in a slash, and put your clean in a lunge. There's about 3 moves you got in clean. That's it. It's glorified sword fighting to an extent, obviously, and sure there's tactics and whatnot, but I get the entertainment aspect, but that makes you nothing more than a spectator that would be better off watching on YouTube, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I don't know.
I get that point kind of relegates to the point that you'd be just as good watching the entertainment aspect of it. Kind of relegates to you might as well just watch it on a YouTube thing as opposed to actually doing anything. If that's your point.
Yeah.
It's something better to it, right? I'm sure there is. Just the point was.
Okay, right. Here's one. Been using tech, clean wrestling is just now getting around to.
I don't understand that. There's so much tech that clean has been using and just hasn't hit the mainstream.
Yeah, like
shit, dude. I had the fucking not to get on him, but I had the experimental sort of prototype finisher tools before even he did. Sure, his actually worked better than mine once he actually came out with them. Granted. But I could literally go back to one of my 2015 arenas. Granted, hopefully it hasn't broke, but maybe it has. But I could go back to one of my 2015.
Tech he doesn't have.
there is tech that I'm fairly certain there isn't there, but
I mean,
if it's a tech race,
I've made like curved GUI trons that go all the way around in a fucking circle. I highly doubt he's done that.
yeah, there's a lot of things that sure maybe they did this first, maybe we did this first, but is it really a tech race?
If it was a tech race, we'd obviously make it a tech race.
Because we have a lot of people on there, he's working on his solo. If we wanted to make this a tech race, we could make this a tech race, but I feel like that's a really boring thing for Raw Wrestling to say. Oh, Raw Wrestling's really exciting this month, look what they came out with.
Raw
Also,
Wrestling
the matches cool.
well, we say that, but DB Tech.
Yeah, but there's some ulterior enjoyment to that. It's not... Yeah. It's not a case of the flashy lights or the fancy crowd or
the pyro.
The pyro's nice this month. Like, no, it's like you don't get any enjoyment out of the pyro. Like, sure, it's a nice touch, but if your whole month is dedicated to making pyro nice, well, the rest of the community probably took a hit, huh? Oh yeah, if your whole month is dedicated to pyro goals, fair enough.
Fucking leave. Look outside. Open your window, maybe.
I used to be known as my pyro's not even that good, and somehow I got the nickname of the pyro guy for a while. Because I fucking did the pyro for ORW Mania 1, and that was when pyro was so primitive, so fucking primitive. But I knew how to turn it on and off in a certain way. This is before Ford fucking decided to become the laggy fucking light show pyro guy that calls me out once a month,
talk to me about Ford. I'd get fucking triggered and start going off.
Oh, don't worry about
it. I've got a full
I respected that guy, and then he found the need to
I've got a full fucking strong dislike for that guy.
I feel like that's a whole podcast for another time. If I'm being 100% honest, I feel like a whole podcast could be made out of that shit. I just don't see the point.
It's not going to be a podcast. It's going to be a shootcast, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, fucking ORW Mania 1, I made the pyro. He gave me like very widespread credit, which was a lot better than some federations had done for giving me credit for shit.
That's one thing I can definitely appreciate with RWA and obviously your two federations and BDW. I've gotten a lot of credit for DB Tech.
Well, yeah, because you guys make it. It's not like I had a helping hand in your shit. Like the most I did was, hey, here's the stuff, put it in the arena. All right. By the way, how do I put this in the arena? I'm fucking it up here. I think it's about the most I did, and I didn't even do it right. So
yeah. So Tams did the fucking same. Don't worry. I think it just ends up every time someone goes to put it in, they call me just to make sure they don't make an arse of it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd rather look like I don't fully know what I'm doing and ask you if I'm doing it right than have it fuck up at the show, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's why I like having a hand and stuff, especially when it comes to stuff I've made.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I feel like you deserve credit.
That was my biggest fucking problem with Boss Raimundo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I was working with him doing CCW, obviously I made his venue. Not a lot of people seem to know that apparently, because apparently he was taking credit for it.
Mm-hmm.
But fuck him.
God damn it.
It turns out, so I made the venue, made all the setups, and sorted all that out, right?
Yeah.
He was in a team create with me, with all of my stuff, including DB Tech, and wouldn't put me in the actual arena's team create. He refused to add me to the actual arena's team create. So if I wanted to add update anything for the DB Tech beta, I had to make it in my own place, add it to that team create, and hopefully he adds it to the actual one.
Which isn't always the most reliable.
It's not even reliability, it's just a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah, for sure, right?
He's like, but my stuff is sacred. I'm like, what fucking stuff? I made your fucking tech GUI, what fucking stuff do you have left?
My stuff is sacred. I mean, I don't let people touch my stuff, but I'm on the borderline of giving out some of that stuff as it is. So I want to do a revamp of some of the stuff, so I might just give out the stuff I have now, because I know a lot of people work off that basic GUI I have, and that one's been called crap. People have told me that's crap before, but I'm like, I made it with the sole intention of giving RWE a form of controls that worked but wasn't flashy. It's nothing compared to the shit I use, right? It's a bit unorganized right now.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves. I'm a big fucking fiend for GUIs. I love making them look good. Even if I'm the only one that's gonna fucking see them, I want to make them look good. And I've seen some fucking feds GUIs, and I'm like, oh my god, how could you even look at this for a full show?
Say whatever you want about RWU, RCC, or otherwise. I even I liked RWU as much as it came, but I never fucking liked their controls GUI. Like that's why I physically never
that was
used it
fucking
myself.
horrific. That was one of the worst I'd ever seen.
I know. I never used it. That's why I made my own with the sole purpose that I would never fucking use it. Like
Yeah.
I did not want to get used to that.
Like I've made my own stuff for fucking ages now, like literally years, and I take that for granted sometimes. Like a lot of people don't have the knowledge or the ability to do it, and bruh, imagine having to deal with that the whole time. Fuck that.
No, for sure, right?
Okay, we've still got more on the list, by the way. There's a couple more.
I know.
Has a Discord that isn't completely unruly chaos.
I don't even have a Discord, so.
Yes, you fucking do.
Well, no, I don't have a Discord of like.
For your Fed. Yeah.
But for my Fed, I have my own. Yeah, I have my own fucking personal one, but I don't have my own.
Like, there's a community one, and even then, that's not even that bad.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, it really isn't that bad, but.
Just go to admin and chill like that. Maybe I'm one of them. So.
I'm working on my own right now, as it stands. Well, not right this second.
If you need a hand with it, just hit me up after the podcast. Let's see. Promos focused on shit relating to wrestling and not stuff outside of it. That's really a case-by-case basis, though.
For sure, right?
Like, you can't judge every promo on the same kind of basis.
I know, for sure. And it's just... There's no criteria. There's no criteria like he gets 100% in the this entertainment value, but he gets a 60% in this. Like there's no dead set criteria. It's entertainment. Entertainment is subjective and it's person to person, really. Like you're not entertaining a objective crowd. It's a very subjective art form. The promo. God, that sounded like the most no-life thing I've ever said. Fucking the art of the promo.
The art of the promo. That's gonna be your new book.
New book, yeah. I got a second book coming out, but my first one was just a fantastic success. No is a hashtag letter word. Huge success.
Okay.
I'm working on myself.
Referees serve a purpose outside of keeping score of how many falls there are.
We haven't. I don't think a federation has really dabbled with having a referee since RWU did. It really didn't serve too much of a purpose anyway, really.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool concept to try with, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be cool. Fuck it, I'm gonna start trying that.
Okay, we've got two more.
Good on him. Good on Alex M. I like that idea.
Overall ranking system that actually matters for something.
Do we have an overall ranking system?
No, because it's fucking sword fighting.
Yo, Ken, what's your overall?
What? Wait, what? 99?
What's your shut the fuck up, dumbass.
Of course, there's always one fucking cunt that has to make it 99. Get a fucking life.
As if Ken would be the 99 of wrestling. Yeah, okay, Ken.
Ken would be the solid 44 of wrestling.
You remember back in WWE 2K games where there'd be that
you'd share a rating with Teddy Long.
You know how there'd be those games where there'd always be that one male superstar that had a really similar ranking to the women's superstars who were always like 20 below the men?
Yeah.
Ken is that superstar on par with his ranking.
Ken is like
Look in the chat.
Ken is like 2012 Santino Marella.
I know. We'll get on that. I'll get on that later. Brooke was just sending me that. Don't worry about that. Same 5 people aren't repetitively pushed. Well, I can see who hasn't been into clean for a while. I can definitely see who hasn't been to clean for a while. Oh boy. I get that there's top level names on the top, but that also comes with talent, but like to say the same 5 people are pushed is a real
boy. I've just seen what you fucking sent.
I know. I'm not.
I knew this was coming. Like I definitely knew it was coming because MGZ was asking me if I had anything. But boy. We'll come to that in a minute. Let's see. And the last one, same 5 people aren't repeatedly pushed.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Sam Falcone? Question mark?
Brand new name that both I'm looking into, the RWA as a whole is looking into, and Ken has already
Clutcha.
cemented as his world champion. Clutcha, that's Sure, he'd been in GMT for a while, but now we're looking at an EST run for him.
Yeah,
That's new.
You can't say there's not. It's like the same 5 people over and over.
You could say Raheem, but I'm more big on Raheem. I'm pretty sure Ken's shown some interest in Raheem. Like, his character work is what's getting him up there, along with his in-ring improvement. Justice, Don Morrison, EJ Cole, Credo, Cole
Here's
Owens,
a little fun
Bad
fact
Boy
for you
LA.
about Raheem. I fought Raheem for the first time for a world title in 2012.
That's something else.
That's a testament as to how long he's been here.
I was just starting to wrestle then too. But like, if you were to go on the same 5 names, because I assume when you say the same 5 names, you'd be talking about Eddie, Damon, TM Punk, Rudy, Damon, or Diddy, sorry, all that.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple more, but generally 5, right? Just to name a few off the absolute top of my head: EJ Cole, Cole Owens, Don Morrison, Credo, Sam Rhodes, Raheem. I know he's an old name, but he's getting resurgence. ZJ Styles, Justice, Brooke, Moss, Noah Jackson. TLX had a thing going, but he's a bit less active now. Hopefully, Falden, Mazzles. Do I really? JC3, Adrian Black.
The list goes on, dude.
Oh no, we got DPV, I don't fucking know what to tell you. Big Hayden had a thing going for a while.
I'm sorry, I'm really excited to get onto this thing about MGZ and want to end the podcast on it as well.
Oh boy.
I want to be that.
I don't know if I want to touch that. I haven't read that all, and I don't know if I want to. Why would you do this?
I know why. I know why. So.
I know why, but fuck almighty God. Oh no.
I think this.
Well, thank God this was after my pay-per-view. No, don't put this near my main event, please. Oh no.
Boy, I don't even think he's done. Let me refresh this.
I want to read this just so people can see it in case this gets deleted. Just gonna put a little disclaimer here. I am not saying this. This is all MG's thing. Okay.
You want to read it? Okay.
If I start butchering it too much, feel free to take over. After a few days of research, me and my friends have discovered a lot of things about the people who have targeted us on Twitter. They're not as perfect as they think they are, and this thread is all about their shit. I'll start with the least relevant guy, Aleem. I believe his name was. He called out Raheem for saying he doesn't get any girls in real life, but if he had his Snapchat, he'd see Raheem gets more girls than he has friends. And man, is Aleem ugly. I bet his problems getting girls online too. And why he gets on others for dating online, he full on looks
like Jerry from Tom and Jerry.
Oh
boy. Okay.
And then this picture of Aleem and...
Up next, Troshock. I don't know this guy at all, but from what I've heard from my friends, dang, I guess that's why he got on Raheem. I was told he got rejected by this girl online, and when he got rejected, he started getting all depressed in her PMs, begging her to date him, but she didn't want to, because who'd date a dumbass like you, begging for an online relationship? Fuck out of here. Up next, Jaden Fuse. No. One creepy ass motherfucker. If Layla was here, she'd tell me the story herself, but it is what it is. What she said scared me. You like to tweet out about other people's business, but you keep your shit private, but I guess I'll tweet out your shit too. Layla told me, word for word, I broke up with him because he's a creep. He'd say things like, I'd never leave my house because I want to talk to you and be with you forever. She also said more shit, but I want to keep your dignity, but however, you had the audacity to lie about your breakup with her, and that just proves you're a creep. Are you ready for the last one? And I feel like caps off the episode.
Alright, sure, go for it.
LXM, the guy who created the animated community, which is only a game, a copy of WWE 2K18 on Roblox. Your community is shit. Clearing RP is way better, but that's not the point. You got on Raheem for dating an underage girl, but the guy you get hard over does it continuously. But you wouldn't dare say shit to him because that's the only reason you ever get hard. Before you point fingers at one person, look around for others too. Raheem just made an innocent mistake.
Oh, that's ugly. I don't want to even fucking... Oh,
Boy.
I mean, shit. I'm not gonna pick sides on that one. That's... Both sides fucked up on that. That's a mess and a half on both ends there.
That's a big boy conversation right there.
if this podcast goes off the air anytime soon, just please know I'm going to be refreshing the page until this finishes.
Oh, dude,
I
I'm not
really,
going to stop. I
I
feel like we should wrap it now and leave it for Twitter to enjoy. Obviously, I'm Dylan Alex Brown at
and
Dylan
I'm
Alex
Kidz
Brown on Twitter.
Jericho,
He's Kidz
and
Jericho.
at the Kidz Rock 4.
Also follow DBTech at DBTechRBLX and enjoy it, troops. This has been the Art of Roblox Wrestling, and it's been a long podcast, surprisingly. I wasn't usually expecting to go this long, but it's went a while. Alright, enjoy, guys. Bye.
Peace.